Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Jason. Today I want to talk to you about something important. Hopefully I can give you some helpful tips, maybe suggestions, talk about my life experience doing drugs, and hopefully might be able to help you out being able to identify signs of drug use and addiction, whether it's within yourself or loved ones. Basically, I'm doing this because drug use caused a lot of pain and misery within myself and within my family members, friends, anybody who is close to me. So signs and symptoms, they may vary according to the individual and the type of drug that's being used. There are numerous red flags that you or your loved ones could be suffering from. And I'll go over those in just a second. But addiction, what is addiction? So addiction is a physical or psychological need to continue using a substance despite the harmful or dangerous effects. So some of those signs and symptoms are things such as cravings. And a craving is the intense urge to use a drug, and that might be already such as the addiction sets in or already as it set in. An example, you might want a beer, you might be craving a beer, you might have the urge to need a beer, you might say, I feel the need, you want something basically, you need something. Something else is physical dependence. So basically physical dependence is due to changes in physiology from persistent presence of the drug in a person's system. It will also leave you feeling bad, and it'll leave you functioning suboptimal when the drug is no longer in your system. So basically, an example of that is when you have a hangover, when you're going through withdrawals, it'll leave you depressed, it leaves you feeling like crap. So you can't function right. You just go through life feeling like crap. That's why using drugs and alcohol to cope with things is not a good way, to cope with things. It just leaves you feeling worse. So another thing, tolerance. Over time, prolonged use, people build up tolerance to the drug, which in turn, you need more of it. And you need more of it to get the desired effect. So an example for that, I guess would be you go from beer to liquor. If you catch yourself, man, I'm not getting drunk off of beer, you move up to liquor, you catch yourself doing a half gram, you need a gram, obviously you need more of the drug to get the desired effect. You're building up a tolerance. You might have a problem there. Withdrawal. So basically this is when you stop using abruptly, a person weans himself off and the physiological dependence starts playing a role. Otherwise, there might be a psychological withdrawal as well. Now here I have some of the withdrawal symptoms from some drugs just to help you guys identify these. So with cocaine, you might have an increased craving for more. You'll have difficulty concentrating, the inability to experience sexual arousal, depression or anxiety. In the physical aspect, that is chills, tremors, muscle aches, or nerve pain. So opiates, anxiety, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, pain in muscles, excessive yawning, goosebumps, cramping, or tremors. And I know I experienced a lot of those. With alcohol, anxiety, shaky hands, hallucinating, restlessness, sweating, loss of appetite, insomnia, seizures, and disorientation. So those were some of the withdrawal symptoms. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to hook you guys up. I'm going to attach a link for withdrawal symptoms of drugs, just because those are some of the drugs. And I don't want to cheat you guys. I want to make sure that you guys can get any of the drugs and withdrawal symptoms from them. So another thing would be poor judgment. So when you're addicted to drugs, he or she will do anything to obtain more. And that's including risky behaviors. So you'll be doing things such as stealing, lying, engaging in things such as safe sex. You'll sell drugs. You'll do things such as crimes, which can land you in prison. It's interesting because I hooked up with an old friend just the other day, and he was telling me a story that it's quite sad that someone that we knew back in the day is in prison for life due to being addicted to drugs and what drugs drove him to do. So it's very serious. If you find yourself addicted or doing drugs, being dependent, whatever you want to tell yourself, get the help you need. This is life or death. Whether you think, oh, you're not going to die, you might be in prison for life, you might be in a risky environment. Drugs will get you one way or another, believe me. So, poor judgment, then we got drug-seeking behavior. And this is where you're going to spend excessive amounts of time and energy trying to get your drug of choice. So basically, my story yesterday, when I mentioned doctor shopping, that's spending excessive amounts of time and energy to get the drug of choice. Or you're going to be sitting here hustling around, trying to make money to get your drug of choice. Then we got financial trouble. So people are going to spend large amounts of money, drain their bank accounts, or go outside their budget. Now I can relate to that perfectly. I would always put my bank account in the red. Whenever I get paid, I'd drain it, go in the negative. I would spend money I didn't have, basically. I would neglect responsibilities. So basically, you put using or getting drugs, getting high, before your responsibilities, your duties, whether it's being a parent, your job, your school, whether it's whatever you want to call it, being a productive member of society. I can relate to that. Obviously, I wasn't a productive member of society. I wouldn't go to school. I would call into work. I would lose jobs over drug use, drugs and alcohol. I would develop unhealthy friendships. So when you start using new drugs, when you find yourself at the bar, you start hanging around with people with like habits, which encourage unhealthy habits. And basically, they project that negative energy on you. That's why it's important to surround yourself with positive people that don't use drugs and alcohol. Last, isolation. Man, I isolated myself from everyone. I cut myself off from the world, which I thought was normal. Threw me into depression, anxiety. Some people might put them into paranoia, but it's the result of drug addiction. And people want to say that alcohol is not, but people sit there and drink alone. And whatever you need to tell yourself, but that's denial. But that was me. I isolated myself family, friends, everybody. All I cared about was getting high. You know, that's all that mattered. Last but not least, drugs and alcohol only serve one purpose: to take everything from you and to leave you for dead. Because that's what they did for me. They took everything from me. They took me and left me financially bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt, emotionally bankrupt, and they almost took my life twice. So, believe it or not, I don't know if you want to take the chance and find out for yourself. That's up to you. But you have the opportunity now to do something about it. I'm trying to help and offer that opportunity. I don't know who follows or reads my post, but opportunity's knocking. So, open up the door. Allow yourself that opportunity. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. And I hope you guys pulled something from this. I hope you guys can apply it to whoever needs help, because that's all that matters. So, much love, stay blessed, and I hope I can see you guys around.